everybody, I gotta speak up here because I don't have these things called microphones, being that we're the unprofessional, unpaid people trying to help out with everybody's education. So this little video here, I'm speaking away from the camera so you can enjoy these two motorcycles while I talk to everybody. And what I gotta read from the computer. Now, what we're gonna do this is, what's up with the eggs? What's up with the raw eggs? So if you go to anabolicmen.com, why do drink raw eggs? That's what I'm reading from right now. There's one food that goes above almost everything in the world for a male. Well, this would also be true for a chick who wants to get in shape because she needs her testosterone. That's what raw eggs do. I'm going to explain. I'm going to read it exactly what it says, word for word. The raw egg, the nutritious raw egg that bodybuilders of the golden era gulped down, and somehow we can't do that anymore. Why? Because we're not man enough anymore. That's what it says. Instead of drinking raw eggs, we're buying egg whites in a can. We're frying our eggs to the point where cholesterol oxidizes just to make them taste better. But nobody seems to drink these nutritional powerhouses raw. Is it because we're being told that they're laden with salmonella? Or do you still believe that dietary cholesterol, which is the precursor for all your sex hormones, would actually be bad for you? Both of these statements are plain stupidity. Here's why. And again, I'm reading word for word. You can look it up. Salmonella is nothing you have to worry about if you drink organic eggs, and organics are what you should eat, right? Why would you want to eat eggs that come from lunatic hormone-pumped chickens when you can eat the organic alternatives? The whole cholesterol theory is a big, huge argument. I believe that will never cease. There would be a nuclear war. It would only take a few hours before we'd again be arguing about the best workout program, cholesterol, and butter versus margarine. But you know how the whole thing started? In short, the cereal companies, which had massive amounts of money, didn't really like the fact that we had eggs and bacon for breakfast. So they had to kind of figure out how to get people to consume their carbohydrate-rich junk foods instead. That's how the cholesterol theory and saturated fat mania started. Because if you have enough money, then you get to choose what's healthy. And what's healthy? Your own product, of course. That's how you increase sales and revenue. That's what this country's about, right? Fuck the little guy, put our money in our pocket, the 1%. If you're the kind of person who refuses to believe everything like that, then I challenge you to do your own research, a research that goes beyond government newspapers or WebMD. You can start by checking this post out. So we'll get back to that post in a minute. What makes raw eggs so good? Despite the fact that cholesterol gets bashed in the media, the truth is that cholesterol is the main source of nutrition for your heart and your brain. Yes, this is not a joke. The nutrient that is suddenly so bad for us humans is a main source of fuel for our two most important organs, the heart and the brain. On top of that, cholesterol is the precursor for all of your sex hormones. It's a natural steroid hormone in your body. So what happens if you don't have enough cholesterol in your system? You develop a condition called low testosterone. Low testosterone is one of the real leading causes of heart attacks in men. So what happens when you consume plenty of cholesterol? Your body has the precursor of testosterone in it. More T equals better body, better sex, better motivation, better confidence, and so on. Your brain has the nutrient it needs. Your heart has the main nutrient it needs. Cholesterol isn't even the only great thing about raw eggs, as eggs are also filled with bioactive amino acids. That's protein if you're stupid. And bioavailable protein is good for your body. Everybody knows that. On top of that, eggs are also full of essential fatty acids like the testosterone-friendly saturated fat, along with the following nutrients. Selenium. This stuff's amazing for your testosterone. Iodine. So necessary they put it in our salt, because we got to have it. Iodine. This stuff is even better for your T and your thyroid gland. Vitamin K2, known as the best vitamin for a healthy heart, and it boosts T. Vitamin A, building block of testosterone. Vitamin B in multiple forms. These are also needed for healthy testosterone production and reproductive health. Vitamin E, good for your prostate. Vitamin D, very powerful testosterone booster. Choline protects body from stress and metabolic disorder. a bunch of other nutrients. Again, I'm reading exactly what this page says. So I don't really see the point of bashing eggs. I've been drinking raw eggs for years now, and sometimes they even exceed 20 raw ones a day. Do I have a heart problem? No. I have excellent blood profile in the high HDL and low LDL. I also have total testosterone that sits in the superhuman ranges. Is this all because of eggs? Probably not, but they do play a huge part, as organic eggs are my main source of cholesterol. Without cholesterol, there wouldn't be any testosterone. 36 hen eggs are as effective as anabolic steroids. Quoted from Vince Gironda. Vincegironda. Look him up on Google. We're going to read about him in a minute. Think about it. If you're not ready to gulp down raw eggs, then you're not entitled to even have more natural testosterone. So, we're going to read that Anabolic Men Click Here page. It says, the real truth about saturated fat and why I think it's healthy. Page down a little bit. Nice big picture of a pile of bacon. If there would only be one thing to choose when naturally boosting testosterone levels, it would be without a doubt the dietary fat intake. This is why you see me in my pictures on Instagram. I'm eating, cheese, healthy fats, milk products, healthy fats. Before you even start reading this post, I'd like to ask you to forget everything about dietary fats that you've been told earlier, especially the parts that circle the media. The reason I'm asking you to do that is a very simple one. You see the things about fat, especially everything about saturated animal fats, that you can read about in the media are completely biased. Just by actively reading peer-reviewed studies on PubMed or any other source of high-quality study journals, you'll soon realize that the whole fat theory that circles the media is one hell of a big lie promoted by various industries and government. They want you sick. They want you eating at Big Pharma's dish. They want you eating from the big companies. That's where they want you, in a little baby cup. Not even looking at the studies, I'm going to show a few example studies later on this post. It's quite easy to figure this whole thing out just by using common sense. The ugly fact is, however, that people don't usually stop and think things through with common sense. Instead, they'll believe everything that's said in the media and television. I'm asking you to forget all of your prejudices about saturated animal fats. Forget everything the media wants you to believe and read this post with an open mind. Now we have cleared that up, it's time to dig into the actual subject of this post, and we'll start with some examples of common sense. However, you can use common sense to understand the big fat lie. Below this subheading, I've gathered some key points that can easily summed up with common sense. Most of these will easily debunk the fat theory, even with the study proofs, which I'm going to show you later on anyway. The case of Jim Fixx. Jim Fixx was a fitness guru who practically introduced jogging as a form of exercise to normal people in one of his bestseller books called The Complete Book of Running. Jim was one of those people who believed every bit of the fat bias that was told to people in the 70s. The result of that, Jim's diet was strictly very low in dietary fat and included practically no saturated fats at all. July 20th, 1984, Fixx died at the age of 52 to a fulminant heart attack after his daily run. The autopsy revealed that Jim's main coronary was 95% blocked, second one was 85% blocked, and the third one was 70% blocked. This led to the media to a conclusion that blocked arteries are caused by running, not the diet. Can't let out the truth. Media never tells you the truth. You really believe what's on the news? Really? Come on, people. Running causes heart attacks. Thank you, news. You're a really helpful source of information. The Philippines. Before the wild fat theory, population of Philippines used coconut oil as their main source of fat. Coconut oil is 92% saturated fat. When the fat theory roiled in to the Philippines, the population was brainwashed by media to use light margarines and to avoid coconut oil completely. This led to a dramatic increase in cardiovascular deaths among the population of the Philippines. Obesity. After the weird conclusion of fat being overwhelmingly bad, the obesity of the population, especially in the U.S., has literally skyrocketed. Shouldn't it be the other way around, since the fat is so bad and everything is now low fat? American Heart Association. It's a fun fact that the operation of American Heart Association is based completely upon the donations of margarine and vegetable oil companies. Basically, it would be the death of a glorious business if they suddenly would endorse saturated fat. Low-fat diets. After the 80s, the low-fat diets have been a huge hit among health gurus. However, all of the clinical research and real-life experiences have proven all this time the low-fat diets have been a dismal failure. You need fat to be healthy, the right fat, saturated fat. From, animals, right saturated fat from, coconut. There's a reason why I eat avocado at night before bed. Saturated fat, healthy fat. It's got to have it. Many people freak out about the fact that fat is a whopping 9 calories in 1 gram of its weight compared to carbs and protein, which only have 4 calories in 1 gram of weight. This is true. Fat has higher calorie content than its relatives, but however, that doesn't really make a difference in the health aspect of things, as it's not really calories in, calories out, that sort of thing in real life. For example, you can eat 100 calories worth of bread, which roughly translates to 100 empty calories of no nutritional value, or you could just eat 100 calories worth of eggs, which translates into 100 calories filled with nutritional greatness. So it's definitely not calories in and calories out type of thing at all. It's just the science of it. In real life, your body craves for nutrients. It doesn't need empty calories. That's why when you have a honey bun, you're starving 20 minutes later. You can go on the honey bun diet and get fat, or you can go on the workout diet, which I'm presenting to everybody, and work out and get healthy. That's the main reason why calories mean absolutely nothing to me. I look food as an in view of what kind of nutritional content it has, not the fucking calorie content that makes no difference to anyone else than Weight Watchers. Again, I'm reading literally right off the screen. Processed vegetable oils. Humans only figured out how to make these oils around 100 years ago. Suddenly, the nutritional authorities started claiming these highly processed junk oils would be beneficial to your health. Looking at those oils a little bit closer will reveal something rather disgusting. Dozens of studies prove that processed vegetable oils are very high in omega-6 fatty acids, which have been linked to inflammation in the body. Despite these oils being recommended to reduce heart disease, there are actually multiple studies that show clear evidence about these oils actually increasing that risk significantly. Don't use processed foods. On average, these oils in the U.S. have been proven to contain 0.5 to 4.2 trans fats. You can read my detailed post about different kinds of fat and how they affect your testosterone levels here. I'll let you look it up. Anabolicmen.com. Look up the real. Linking saturated fats with trans fats. Trans fats are fats that have been chemically altered to be more solid and have longer shelf life. That way their processed junk doesn't go bad. Also known as partially hydrogenated fats, the whole process is very nasty, combining high pressure, high heat, a metal catalyst, and hydrogen gas. Margarine, by the way, is made always like that. Recently, some of the major health organizations have been confusing people with using the term bad fats by talking about saturated fats and trans fats, when in real life, they have absolutely nothing to do with each other. It's quite actually the opposite way around, as margarines and such are made with a hydrogenation process that create trans fats, not butter. Butter is good for you. Real butter is good for you, pal. You can eat it by the spoonful. Fat makes you fat. This is common belief among most people in the media. Despite fats having more than double the amount of calories per gram than carbs or protein, dozens of studies still clearly indicate that high-fat and low-carb diets actually lead to more weight loss than low-fat diets. That's what I'm on, hello. It's called ketosis. The scientific outlook. If you're somewhat intelligent, most people really aren't, and can think with your own brain, most people really can't, you will easily realize the truth from those 10 examples above. But if you're so effectively brainwashed by the media that you can't still buy those things, then let's take a closer look at the non-sponsored peer-reviewed studies. There was one major review done last year which looked at 16 different studies. What the researchers found out after looking at the 16 studies is this: high-fat dairy consumption did lower the obesity risk and had absolutely no correlation with cardiovascular disease. The Framingham Heart Study lasted for 20 years. The results were something that the media doesn't want to hear at all, because they're controlled by the corporate interest people. Who do you think owns those TV stations anyways? Think about it. Margarine increased heart attack risk significantly, but butter had no effect on the heart disease in this study. One Australian study discovered that the saturated fat found in dairy products lowered heart attack risk by 69%. Trans fats and polyunsaturated vegetable oils are actually associated with cardiovascular disease and death in 3 different studies examined on the review. Margarine was linked to heart disease in 4 different studies examined on the review. Grass-fed or organic butter is found to be protective to heart and cardiovascular systems. Grass-fed beef, grass-fed butter, yum, eat it, yay, drink the milk. Good for you. This is how we evolved, people. We didn't have corporations feeding us junk till recently. The Sydney Diet Heart Study rounded up 458 men who recently had a stroke. The researchers divided these men into 2 groups. The other half of these men were told to stop consumption of saturated fats and replace it with margarine and polyunsaturated fats. At the end of the study, the group was 70% more likely to die by heart disease. Way to go, margarine! The review done last year is actually the only review that came to similar conclusions, as the review that was published back in 2010 looked at 21 respected fat-related studies with this conclusion. Saturated fats and cardiovascular disease have absolutely no correlation with each other. Now, Vincent Anselmo Garanda, born November 9th, 1917, October 18th, 1997, was an American professional bodybuilder, author and owner of the celebrity-frequented Vincent Gym. His nickname was the Iron Guru. Read him up, look him up, Vince Garanda. Famous quote, 36 raw eggs a day is the equivalent of anabolic steroids. Do I pump a bunch of junk or do I eat raw eggs and be healthy? Think about that real fucking hard, man. Let me show you what Vince looked like. Or are you going to tell me, man looks like that, don't know what the fuck he's doing? Enough said. Go home. See you on the next video.